probation. Second-degree felony offense is theft of property with previous convictions with findings prior offenses were true. You were placed on that probation January 24th of 2024. I have received the pre-sentence report as well as there was one incident report from the jail page that should have been sent to you all, and also Mr. Coleman has also provided a copy of the court's sentencing hearing, a transcript from that original sentencing back on January 23rd, 2024. Has everyone had an opportunity to review all of this?
Yeah.
Are there any additions or corrections to that updated report?
Not seen on our.
Yes, of course. So let me just, there's no agreement in this, correct? This was just open to the court. Yes. All right. Mr. Rojas, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're going to be asking the court to get our probation. I know if I was in the PSI on campus, it doesn't look like that. And there should be given. Just to be given university. It looks like the school district is all somewhat I'm the judge who's hard to use. If you look at the allegation people are shooting the judge, the next allegation has to do with judge. And the reasons for not complying to the JTJ program.
You hear this argument a lot in court. It's the drugs, not the person. And sometimes that works, but here's the problem. Judges track patterns, not excuses. When rehabilitation has already been tried multiple times, sympathy starts turning into skepticism. The question becomes, is this addiction or refusal to change?
And I'm sure that one of the polling MCs can point out the comments about the court about not wanting to hear about more help with judge or anything like that.
I really don't, because here's the thing, Mr. Johnson. I'm looking back at your original pre-sentence report that when I put you on probation. I make notations on those reports, make highlights, and those types of things. And I'm noting that in that report, you already, before this case, had gone to ISF and SAFP. And then on this probation, I sent you to ISF at the beginning of the probation. Is that correct or no? So you were on parole. I gave you a probation against Mr. Coleman's wishes and really against what looked like it should have. You went to ISF regardless of who. So you've been to ISF twice. Is that correct? You're looking at her. You've gone. Have you been to ISF once or twice? How many times? Okay, so you've been. But you keep getting. To do what? Because you've been to SAFP, you've been to ISF, and you went to ISF more recently, right?
This is the moment every defendant fears. The judge starts reading the receipts. ISF, SAFP, parole, probation, this isn't a lack of opportunity. This is opportunity after opportunity. From the bench's perspective, rehabilitation has been offered and rejected again and again.
Okay. You got right on probation. You tested positive for cocaine after all of this time and all the different things that have been given to you and the opportunity that I gave you back in January of last year. You pled open, just open to me. I could have done anything. Could have sent you to prison for 20 years, 10 years, and I gave you an opportunity. And I said on that day because Mr. Coleman printed it out for me. Well, so how do I do anything other than what I said?
Let's be crystal clear. Failing a drug test after multiple treatment programs is courtroom kryptonite, especially when the judge personally went against recommendations to give probation. This isn't just a violation, it's a betrayal of judicial trust, and judges take that very personally.
Hey, we're not talking about anybody but you today. I'm sorry your mom's that old and that you haven't been around to be with her, but that's whose fault? It's not going to be my fault if you're not there. How about some personal responsibility instead of my mama's old and don't send me to prison? Go ahead.
I kind of called the one who got a read out. You never really got to go. On this most recent count of probation, the ACDI, everyone's new safety, rehab, working safety, appropriate for a whole new term.
Hold on. So if I'm reading this, I want to know when he went to ISF last time. Parole since him went. Because the way I'm reading is you were released from ISF and started JCDI August 6th of 2024. So I put you on probation in January, and between January and August, you went to ISF last year. Is that correct or no? Okay. So when was? Went straight there. So I placed you on probation. You never got out. You went and got help at ISF. All right. Anything else? No. No. I still haven't done anything yet. So your response and how you act right now is going to go into what I do.
For the fact, the underlying offense is the Dollar General, I think it's $90 worth of merchandise. I would ask the court to consider something at lowering the range to 5. Just because you can drop the hammer on, I don't think that necessarily means we should. That's what we're not going to do. We should not be enough.
Thank you. Mr. Coleman.
This is the turning point. The state isn't asking for maximum time. They're asking for accountability. Zero tolerance probation means exactly that. One strike and you're done. And remember, the judge warned him about this on day 1. The warning wasn't dramatic flair. It was a promise.
Lastly, she got here in the original case, and I do just to remind you, he essentially told
And I do appreciate that because I do see a lot and I don't remember it all. But Mr. Taylor, do you have anything you want to say?
Do a lot of things in your life. Not in my town. Of things, a lot of things. Yeah, really, if I had a chance,
Mr. You have. But, well, it doesn't make any sense because you're saying, you've done a lot of time, and at some point, you either say, I don't like prison and I want to do better, but you didn't take advantage of the opportunities you were given. You're saying you want help, and we gave you help, or parole gave you help. So you didn't even get out on my probation yet. You had ISF, a reminder of the tools that you had a long time ago. You had those things, and you got out, and you didn't take advantage of the opportunity that I told you. You better take advantage of it because you're not going to get it again. You're saying the same things that you said. Please just give me another chance. I'm going to do better. Please send me to ISF or SAFP. It's all the same thing that you're saying. No one is setting anybody up for failure. Hang on. So what you're telling me is when did you have back surgery?
8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. If you're throwing out to me that you had back surgery 8 years ago, then you are digging for everything you possibly can, and we're done with all that. I'm going to find that you previously entered the pleas of truth to counts 1 through 6 freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find those counts true. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, find you guilty of theft of property with previous convictions. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 12 years to the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm going to hand you trial court certification that shows this was not an agreement. You do have some limited rights to appeal. You can talk to Mr. Rojas about that.
12 years. Not the maximum. Not the minimum. This is what judges call a measured sentence. Long enough to protect the public, but still rooted in the defendant's history and choices. And here's the takeaway. Prison didn't come from one bad day. It came from a lifetime of ignored second chances.